It's so interesting being an actor and letting them know, oh, I also do improv or I do comedy. And the first thing they ask me every single time, oh, tell me a joke. Like, do something right now. And I'm like, no, that's not how it works. Do you ask your accountant to do your taxes right there in front of you? No. I tell them come to a show, see a show, and one of the first things that they always ask after they see the show, you made that up, like on the spot. Really? And I'm like, yes, that is improv. That is comedy. I started having an interest in the performing arts when I was a young kid. I think my first play was I played Joseph in my Catholic school's nativity play, and from there I loved the attention from the audience, the laughter and the applause, and being able to tell stories.
So I don't consider myself a comedian. I do comedy, but I'm a person who does comedy. And I found it through improv. So I've been doing professional comedy now for the last 23 years. I've always felt that people who audition and try to do improv, we're always an outlier of another community. And then when we all join improvisation, we all kind of find ourselves, and suddenly we all came from these similar places from other groups, but all find similarities together on the improv stage. One of our main jobs is to make everybody else look good. And so what does that mean? I mean, that just means that we're not going to judge you if you make a mistake or if you're having trouble coming up with an idea. We're going to be there for you, and we're going to support you until you can come up with that idea. And if you need help, we're going to be there to help you. And so that part of improvisation for me was life-changing. It helped me think of other people, not just on the improv stage, but think of others off stage in the same way. What can I do to make you look better? What can I do to help you? Suddenly, all of our shows had to stop. We weren't doing any more live improv shows, and we actually took a few weeks off.
I'm 31 years old, and I'm thinking, is this it? I've spent my life being an artist and telling stories and being in front of people for the most part. That's how I make my living, and now I can't do that because of this virus. And I was scared. Like, I was terrified.
I will admit that I was not a fan of it. I went into it saying, I don't want to try to recreate what we do on stage in a Zoom box. And I resisted for a little bit.
And I was very, very against improvising virtually. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. I can't connect with my scene partner, eye contact, delays, how are we gonna do this? And it went from me just being an actor to me being, the DP, the lighting assistant, the makeup artist, I had to do everything. And you can try your hardest and there's still gonna be glitches. There's still gonna be internet failures. There can be a storm in the middle of your performance, which happened to me. We were in the middle of the show, lightning struck, and my whole computer just went out. And I was like, well, that's it. Sorry.
We all went through the same learning curve, but then once we all understood it a bit more, then we all understood how to take advantage of it a bit more, and then we all really started to get into it. And now I could do a Zoom performance and feel, and I'll put that in quotes, feel like I'm in the same space with that person. I've gotten used to communicating through the Zoom format.
Forgiveness for our food.
Oh my.
Ariel. Joke. I text my mom.
There have been many times where I've had really rough days and then still had to perform. And I remember specifically one day I was walking towards the theater and a truck drove by and they called me the N-word. And I had my headphones in, so I took the headphones out and I turned and they called me it again. And so I walked into the rehearsal that we were having right before the show. And we were doing our check-in. I was like, I'm not here. I had to be honest. I was like, I'm not here, and I don't know if I'm gonna be much in the show. I know I have to be in the show, but I'm not here. now, years later, in the midst of everything that's going on, I still have to perform. But it's hard. It's hard, especially being a comedian. Like, okay, now I have to go on stage and I have to make you laugh or do something funny or silly. And it's rough, and I encourage audience members to not be so harsh on us, to know that we're humans too. We're dealing with things, especially, artists of color, especially Black performers. And I've been grateful for community that's kept me grounded. The improv community here in Tampa, in the Tampa Bay area, like from Sarasota all the way up to Tampa, is really inclusive and communicative, and we're always supporting each other. So I've been grateful for that. So improv has taught me not only to celebrate my culture and to be able to share it on stage, but at the same time, flip the audience's perceptions of what cultural biases and stereotypes and kind of learned perceptions that we have. Because as performers, whether we're improvising or doing scripted plays, as artists, we have a responsibility to reflect the times. And we can't just expect the audience to come in here and forget what's going on outside. We have to be informed and use our artistry to educate in some way. And that's what I love about improv.
Improv is responding to the pulse of our community right now, right? Many other shows go through weeks, months of a rehearsal process. We do rehearse, but our show is still different every week. We have to respond to where that audience is right now. And also, anytime there's like just a difficult news cycle, that audience that comes in after that, they are looking for healing, they're looking for an escape, and we here at FST Improv provide that for them through our comedy. The folks here are very appreciative of the arts, and they're very theater smart. This city creates a very unique theatrical audience, and that's why I love living here. My wife and kids sometimes think I'm funny. My wife's gotten used to me now. With my kids, I'll go into the room on Saturday morning and say that it's time to get ready for school. So it's always like little things like that. Although the older one is starting to get a little too old for it, but the younger one, she's the one who makes me laugh because she's actually pretty clever. I think she's going to be our future improviser.
I don't think my family thinks I'm funny. I remember Adam Ratner, who was also a Legacy cast member. He was like, "Oh, bring your family." I was like, "I don't know. They've never seen improv. I don't know." And he was like, "No, it'll be great." And so I brought, some of my cousins, and my mom was in town, so she came. And I could see my family the entire show, and they were just laughing and having a good time. I was like, wow, I did not think that they would enjoy this improv show. So after the show, I was like, "Mom, how was the show?" She was like, "Oh my gosh, that was so great. It was so funny." My cousins were like, "That was so hilarious. It was just like Whose Line Is It Anyway?" And then I realized that they had been drinking the whole night. Now, they also enjoyed the show, but I mean, I was like, "How many drinks did y'all have?" And they were like, "I don't know." Your friends, we told them that we were your family, and so they just treated us, and I was like, "Oh my God."